everybody, and welcome back to Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars, and our featured matchup of the day brings us to the map Tournament Tower. And sliding into the upper left-hand corner as the green nod, we have AdamLallana. And then sliding down to the bottom right corner, his opponent for today as the blue GDI, we have Tinnitus. So AdamLallana as Nod facing off against Tinnitus playing as the GDI. So classic Nod v GDI. And Tournament Tower, you will be seeing that GDI scout getting to that tower. Oh, it's going to actually be close, but the GDI scouts, as you can see, they can run quite a bit faster. So they will be able to beat out those militant squads, and obviously they're quite a bit stronger in early game engagements as well. So even if it ended up being just a straight up 1v1, the Rifleman squad would come out on top. But that aside, AdamLallana and Tinnitus, two players that I don't know very well. Again, I'm not terribly familiar with the Tiberium Wars community, so I will be learning this stuff as we go along here, but I am slightly familiar with AdamLallana, less so with Tinnitus. There are rumors that he is in fact D-Physic, but I was unable to confirm that on Shatterbrick. Anyways, that stuff aside, it is going to be a couple of APC engineers coming out from Tinnitus. It looks like it has been spotted by AdamLallana, so he shouldn't be getting jumped by this, and luckily enough, Tinnitus will not be losing any of his engineers here to the radar buggy, getting into range and picking those guys off before they can get into the APC. So nice pickup there. But anyways, that will be sending out a couple of bikes here, not terribly shocking. One bike already out. That bike's actually getting focused down. It looks like it will be going down. Oh no, he actually changes targets at the very last second. He must have actually changed, like manually changed targets there. That's a little bit unfortunate. Could have taken at least a bike down, but still not going to be worth at all. So he loses a engineer and an APC. He does manage to grab the Tiberium spike in the midst of that action, as he was likely drawing focus of AdamLallana at his war factory, just trying to keep that alive. But anyways, good on these guys, keeping things interesting in the early game. Not any downtime here, especially on Tournament Tower. Not terribly shocking to see that being the case, but now these bikes going to be getting put to good use here for AdamLallana. Going to be putting a lot of pain onto the Harvester of Tinnitus, and that Harvester is going to be going down. It hasn't been rallied back to the war factory yet. Oh, it actually is going to get back into the range of the war factory. Will be able to be saved here. It's going to come down to a micro control here from Tinnitus. Is he going to be able to keep that Harvester alive? It is pretty low on HP, but he's doing a great job of kiting that around the war factory. So great control there from Tinnitus, and maybe lending credence to the fact that he may be in fact D-Physic. Again, D-Physic, I'm not terribly aware of who he is, so if you guys are aware of the Tiberium Wars community and I'm not, let me know what you think. Is he a good player? But Tinnitus and AdamLallana, I think they should be on relatively equal skill grounds here, so I'm looking forward to seeing a decent game out of these guys. Two refineries rather on the expansion here for AdamLallana, so he's cranking away on that eco. Same thing here for Tinnitus. He's actually a little bit faster. He's got his war factory out on the front lines. That lends me to believe that AdamLallana has maybe teched behind this. No, he's actually dropped a hand of Nod here. He wants to get out an engineer. More than likely that was actually to get out an engineer to grab that Tiberium spike back, and as we can see, he has in fact done that. In the meantime, what else do we have going on here? AdamLallana, he's dropped a third refinery on this field, so wow, that's a lot of eco on this field, and that's going to be setting his production back quite a bit, and that's going to be a bit scary for him here now that the Pitbulls are starting to mass up pretty heavily. They should be able to take on these Scorpion tanks at least early on, but the rocket squads will be enough to hold the line here. They are getting some shots on that GDI logistics center. That one will be going down. May do a little bit of damage here in the meantime, but just a couple of Rifleman squads are going to be poking away at a Scorpion tank. Not too much to be worried about there. A couple of bikes harassing Harvesters around the backside of things. Should get one Harvester pretty low. Unfortunately, not great micro control here coming out from AdamLallana. He's going to be switching targets a couple of times there. And, oh, actually, it looks like we did have a Black Hand Squad managing to rush their way all the way across the map. Not quite sure what happened there. Must have been from a sold-off operations center. And where is that? So why was the operations center all the way down there? Wait, what is going on down here? There's something down here. I'm not quite sure what it is. Anyways, we won't worry too much about it. AdamLallana just calling back with those couple of bikes. And it looks like a mine drop was called in on top of these Harvesters. It's not going to be able to claim too much from what I can tell. And the refinery is now under siege here. That one will be going down. That's actually going to be denying a little bit of build radius here for Tinnitus, and that's actually going to be a good pickup there for AdamLallana. He's not actually going to commit into killing that off. The repair tool comes out in time here for Tinnitus. He's going to be able to save that. And now it is going to be tower defense here coming out from Tinnitus. And I'm going to be giving the edge here to Tinnitus, as he is going to have a lot better base push capabilities here with the watchtowers and the support of the war factories here, allowing those Predator tanks to just be so much more effective. But he is losing a couple of Predator tanks here to the rocket squads as they get into range, and he's actually doing a great job of picking these Predator tanks off before they can mass up too heavily. Harvester's on an auto rally. That's not good. That's going to be going down. Unfortunately, he has mined out all of his Tiberium here in this field. And what else do we have going on in the meantime? It looks like the bikes on the backside have been cleaned up. And what else do we have here? It looks like a power plant going down. The rocket squad line here from AdamLallana is pretty significant, but the Predator tanks are getting into range, and they are in significant enough numbers where they can just try to come in here and get some crushes. Though Tinnitus is going to be taking pretty significant losses here. He does need to be careful about not losing too many of those tanks to some errant movement orders there, and he does manage to take out the majority of these rocket squads. They're still poking away. The watchtower is going to be helping out that effort as well. And now the base creep from Tinnitus is going to be very, very effective, but the obelisk of light comes down at the very last second as the remainder of those forces did go down. Flame tank on the back line is going to be taking out a refinery here. I'm not sure what else it cleaned up in the meantime, but that refinery will be going down. And it looks like it was maybe just one refinery and maybe a war factory. I'm not sure what happened to this war factory, if it was sold off. It was most likely sold off, so just a refinery, not too much to be worried about there. The MCV actually going surprisingly low on HP, so it must have been hitting that. We'll have to check that out in the replay. You guys will likely see it. I'll probably edit it in somewhere. But anyways, we will be seeing another flame tank on the back line. Is going to be getting picked off there. Not going to be able to do too much damage, but it was just coming in to get some scouting information, as we do have the Tiberium Catalyst missile coming down and locking down 2 of those refineries. So the one click's coming out from AdamLallana. He has that Tib Chem plant. Not quite sure where it is. There it is. I knew it was out on the field somewhere, unless he sold it off instantly. But now the base creep coming out from AdamLallana. It looks like he did lose maybe an engineer. I thought I saw an engineer out there for a second, but that would have been odd. There is an engineer out here. Okay, so he's trying to use engineers to actually repair his construction yard. Great control there from Tinnitus to actually focus those guys down before they can jump inside of the MCV. And the MCV for AdamLallana does go down. That's going to be denying that base push, at least for the time being, until AdamLallana can get himself back up and running. And it looks like both of these players have slowed down quite a bit. Tinnitus has actually a decent-sized army here that he can continue to put some pressure onto AdamLallana. And Adam, in the meantime, he is going to be harvesting out the remainder of this Tiberium. And that is pretty much the only Tiberium remaining in the game. And it looks like a couple of Pitbulls sitting on the back lines here. Not quite sure what they're up to. Most likely just going to be out getting some scouting information, maybe trying to pick off some harvesters. That would not be a terrible idea at all. Obviously, the eco game here in the late game on Tournament Tower is extremely important. And both of these guys holding on to their single Tiberium spike for the time being. So I don't know that I'd give anybody an edge so far, though there are APCs and Predator tanks coming out here for Tinnitus. I don't think he actually has any tech to speak of. Holy crap, triple airfield transition coming out from Tinnitus. I had no idea that this was coming. Just pan over and happened to see it. Wow, okay, so triple airfield Orcas coming out from Tinnitus. He could pick off a lot of harvesters here. Does need to be wary of the rocket squads. That's very, very scary indeed. Stealth tanks rolling around the map as well. Looks like harvesters are going to be the name of the game here for Tinnitus. He's going to be picking those guys off. Going to be trying to pick off the operations center as well. Does manage to pick up that kill. And where have those stealth tanks gone? Looks like we've got stealth tanks rolling through the bottom of the map. Most likely going to be harvester hunting. In the meantime, we have another great mine drop coming in from AdamLallana, so some clutch one-clicks going to be coming in to save him in this game so far, but he has managed to hold the line. The Orcas, though, are going to be a major threat. It looks like now the stealth tanks are getting into range. They managed to pick off 4 of those Orcas, so that's a really good pickup there for AdamLallana. He's going to be feeling very good about that, and now it is a constant threat here for these Orcas. They do get the radar scan down, so they should be able to pick off both of those guys, but unfortunately lose about 3 or 4 of the Orcas in the meantime. Actually, I think they only lost 2, so not too bad, but did lose a significant number of Orcas for just 2 of those stealth tanks, but those stealth tanks are pretty expensive. Beam Cannon's going to be coming out here, so maybe going to be seeing a Beam Cannon infantry transition here coming out from AdamLallana. He does have some Vertigo bombers coming out as well. That would actually be a really nice way to shut down the Orcas if they do land on the deck. They should be able to fly right over the top, and I think two Vertigo bombers should be able to take down a fully loaded airfield there. But anyways, Beam Cannon's going to be coming forward here, just going to be able to pick up a couple of units that have managed to stray ahead of the pack here. But a couple of Beam Cannons coming forward, and that's a lot of that's actually a decent amount of money that's on the front lines there for AdamLallana, pretty much undefended. Those rocket squads needed to commit into that. Vertigo Bomber returning from somewhere. Did it finish off the MCV? Oh my god, is the MCV gone? The MCV is gone. It's not a huge issue at this point, but that's going to make every single structure just so much more important here for Tinnitus. If he loses it, he will not be able to rebuild it. This refinery going to be extremely important to keep alive, as he only has this other refinery sitting way back, so that's going to be denying any harvesting coming out from him by quite a long shot. Harvester's coming forward, getting great crushes on those rocket squads and going to be eating up a couple of those minefields as well. Radar scan comes down. It's going to be revealing that there aren't any Vertigo Bombers actually sitting on the deck. Not quite sure what they hit. They do manage to put a little bit more damage onto that refinery. More than likely just going to be repeat bombs coming out onto the refinery there, though the Vertigo Bombers are going to get shot down on the deck here by the APCs, and the APCs are going to continue to rush forward here. They do manage to take down the airfield, and that last Vertigo Bomber is going to burn up. I don't think it has any ammo, so that one will go down. So that's a lot of money down the drain here for AdamLallana. Still has his tech around, so is not ready to transition out of this yet. Actually, a nice obelisk placement could potentially kill off all of these forces. That would not be a terrible idea. Maybe dropping that somewhere in here. He should be able to clean up all of these guys, no problem. And actually, that's a pretty good spot as well. Great control, actually, from AdamLallana. Going to be able to keep that stealth tank alive. Wow, he's doing a nice job of cutting that around the war factory. Manages to pick off an Orca there as well. And two of these airfields have been sold off. It looks like Tinnitus, realizing now that he's struggling for cash, doesn't actually have anything being queued out of that war factory either. So could be seeing a GG here in the near future here coming out from Tinnitus. What does he have coming out in the meantime? It looks like a couple APC engineers trying to come in and grab a capture on that construction yard, maybe even on the tech lab, but not going to be able to be the case here for Tinnitus. But Tinnitus, he does have an MCV back out on the field, so he is going to be feeling good about that. But a couple of stealth tanks going to be rolling around. Just a single veteran stealth tank there, but should be able to clean up an Orca if it does come into range. And it looks like he is going to go ahead and turn around and pick that guy off. Radar scan coming in from those Orcas, but not going to be enough. Orcas, honestly, at this stage in the game, not going to be the unit of choice, but honestly, Tinnitus, he's pretty strapped for production here. He's only got that one war factory and one airfield, and he just wants to have a different threat just due to the fact that those obelisks are so good against these tier 1 units here coming out from Tinnitus. Honestly, at this point, we'd like to see some juggernauts. Really not a whole lot of answers here from AdamLallana to deal with those aside from the stealth tanks, but they'd have to commit into firing on those guys, and then they could be cleaned up at that point in time. But it's a tough game here for Tinnitus. He's definitely fighting an uphill battle at this point, so these guys have gone pretty well back and forth, but now the stealth tank's going to start doing what they do best, and that's trading cost effectively. And it looks like, do we have 2 veteran stealth tanks? We do. We have 2 veteran stealth tanks going to be coming out, and it looks like they're going to try to pick off as many units as they possibly can. Could honestly just focus down this refinery. I don't think AdamLallana is really prioritizing how important this refinery is for Tinnitus. And, oh, they're actually going to turn and fire on these harvesters. One harvester goes down, another harvester very low on HP. Unfortunate rally mistake there from Tinnitus. Going to be losing a second harvester as well, and now there are 4 stealth tanks, and it is likely just a matter of time here until Tinnitus does go down. I can't imagine that he can hold the line. Oh, one of those stealth tanks going so low, but great kiting here coming out from Tinnitus. Actually gets an elite stealth tank, or rather from AdamLallana, gets an elite stealth tank, but it does go down. But the remainder of these stealth tanks are going to be able to clean up these pit bulls. Needs to be careful, though. These pit bulls are actually they were starting to mass up and pick off these stealth tanks, but they're not going to be able to do that anymore as the pit bulls are all gone. It looks like the stealth tanks are actually going to choose to fire on the construction yard. Honestly, it would be a lot better effort to focus down. Whoa, wait a second. Okay, the elite stealth tank was still alive. That stealth tank goes heroic just by getting some damage onto the construction yard. So that is a huge damage threat, particularly late game, just because he can run around the map and not have to worry about that stealth tank going too low on HP. And now this construction yard is just going to melt. The damage output from that one single heroic stealth tank is just so significant. And yeah, he is going to be able to kite that one back. Doesn't want to put too much damage onto these stealth tanks, and I don't blame him. The infantry can definitely focus them down pretty quickly. But oh, that construction yard is so very low on HP. And it looks like a couple of harvesters just going to be getting revealed there by some infantry. Tinnitus looking to be getting pretty desperate here, spamming out infantry at this point in time. But the harvester is going to be called in here for AdamLallana, going to be getting some crucial crushes, and he should be able to clean these units up. He does still have a refinery on the back line, still has a refinery on the front lines. That's been allowed to stay around for a lot longer than I thought it would. And now the stealth tanks are going to come in, and unfortunately the engineer from Tinnitus not able to jump inside of that. Could have potentially saved it, and that would have been a nice pickup there, but Tinnitus is going to throw in the towel, and AdamLallana comes through victorious. So pretty back and forth game there in the mid game, and then started sweeping into the favor of AdamLallana late game when he made the transition into stealth tanks. Just got a couple of nice trades and did some great raiding with some flame tanks around the back side of the base, as well as just some crucial pickups on the orcas as they got into range. And when you can pick those guys off, it's just so good. He also managed to take out the MCV of Tinnitus, forcing him to rebuild that, so that's a lot of production time and a lot of money to go down the drain, because those MCVs are very expensive. But all the same, very good game. Let's take a look. It looks like resource-wise, Tinnitus was actually over the top of AdamLallana for a good portion of the game there, which showed why he was able to do that triple airfield orca transition without too much trouble. But AdamLallana, he managed to pick up and get ahead of him towards the end of the game, but Tinnitus managed to keep himself up and over the top of AdamLallana all the way into the late game. And I don't know if he managed to grab away one of the Tiberium spikes that allowed him to catapult over the top, but all the same, these guys battling for those resources late game, and it just ended up going in favor of AdamLallana, especially with those stealth tanks. Just so good at trading cost effectively, and that's exactly what you need at that stage in the game where every dollar counts. And Tinnitus, unfortunately, not making the mid-game decisions that he really needed. I think the orcas were an interesting choice. I don't know that that's necessarily what I would have gone with. Maybe against a GDI player it would have worked out a little bit better. He could have gone in and just really killed off a lot of harvesters without having to use the radar scans, but when you're forced to use the radar scans, it only gives you a small window of time before you need to either use another radar scan or actually re-micro to actually kill off all those harvesters. So it's just a difficult situation, and unfortunately Tinnitus was unable to make that one work out, but or rather put forward a great effort and made for an interesting game for us. So 15 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock. Not a record-breaking game length, but a good game all the same. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Be sure to check out the replay link down in the description of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a download and a wub. It definitely encourages these guys to upload more replays, and we definitely like to start seeing that a lot more frequently. So that's going to be it for me today, everybody. Let me know what you thought of the cast and of the game here today, and thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.